So here we go. Day 17, Highway 12 East. For the next 3 days, we'll be on this road, making our way over to Missoula. So there it is, Missoula. And that's going to be 215 miles, so that's a pretty even 3 days of 70-mile-a-day riding. And that's what we're going to shoot for, is knock a 70 out for each of the next 3 days. So here I am along the Clearwater River, just to the east of Lewiston, about 10 miles. And this is kind of the scenery that I've been looking at. Through here this morning. A lot of traffic, but I knew it was going to be on this road, at least until we get to Kooskia, which is about 60 miles from here. So we'll be following the Clearwater River along here for, get moving a little bit, following the Clearwater River up into the Bitterroot Mountains to cross Lolo Pass tomorrow or the next day, probably the next day. I haven't really looked that far ahead yet, but and then we'll cross the Continental Divide there at about 5,000 feet or a little bit more, and then head down into the Bitterroot Valley. And so here I'm up above the Clearwater River here. That's looking back downriver towards Lewiston. And upriver towards Orfino, which is the next larger town. And we'll be going actually across that bridge down there in the distance. Scenic panoramas out here along the Clearwater River. Just beautiful. Trying to get it in between the trucks whizzing by. I can't drive and single-hand this, or ride and single-hand this. The shoulder is relatively narrow here, especially up tight against the river. But man, it is just gorgeous out here today. Starting to get back into the pine forest a little bit now, and that'll just continue to be the case the rest of the morning long here as we go, because it's we're getting a little bit higher and very slowly going higher, and you can smell the pine in the air out here. It's just everything to fill the senses up today. It's just great out here. I wish this road was a little better and not so much traffic. I'd be enjoying this a lot more, but you got to take the good with the bad, I guess. So I stopped here by the Clearwater River here to take a little break, and there's a boat access ramp down here. So I thought I would take a walk down here and kind of look. This thing's kind of pointed downriver, more or less. Yep, towards Lewiston. It's kind of curious as to how cold the water was, because it's ice cold up in the mountains. Yeah, that's pretty cold yet, even down here, but just it's very pretty along here. I think we might possibly be going, I don't think we do go across that bridge up there. I know we wind back and forth across the river here for pretty much all the way down to Kooskia. I think after Kooskia it pretty much stays to the south side of the road, but I'm just looking up the boat ramp here. But yeah, I've been trying to take a break about every 10 miles or so. I said sore, didn't I? 10 miles or so. That's because I've been a little sore. I passed, several days back, my longest distance ever on a bike trip of 600 miles, and I think I'm right around, well, I'm probably not much past that, but it's never been with the terrain that I've been riding through out here, so it's different. And while I typically don't have backside problems from the riding, I am a little bit on this trip. I think it's just a day after day thing, and having a rest day yesterday helped that. It's not horrible, it's just, and I typically take a break about every 10 miles anyway. I got a little spoiled with this bike. I haven't had to, it rides a little better than my steel bike does, and I don't really feel the need to take the brakes, but I do need to take them. So every 10 miles I try to pull off, at least just stand over the bike, over the top bar for a few minutes just to get a little break and have a drink, maybe grab a snack, and I got to do that a little bit more frequently to kind of keep these sores away. And I'm making good time. It's noon and I've already got 20 miles in, so I've only got another 50 to go. So I just got off the phone with my friend Paul, who is, I've never met him. We met through adventure cycling on a forum, trying to put together a ride, and he was going to start the trip with me up in Cape Flattery, but then ended up starting in Oregon a few days after I started. And as it turns out, we were going to meet in Missoula, but as it turns out, we are actually going to meet him and the woman that he's traveling with, a friend of his. We're going to be meeting up tonight in Kooskia at a campground there. And so we'll be able to ride the rest of the way Missoula together. That's really good news for me, because although I'm not having trouble with this hub right now, I'm still having the noise with it. It doesn't seem as bad today for some reason, which is typical of when I decide to fix something that starts working right or better. But it'll be nice to have a couple people along with me, especially since we're going to be going through some pretty remote areas. So just another beautiful view here along the Clearwater River. We are about 15 miles out of Orofino right now, right along the river here. Man, you can really smell the pine in the air today. And one of the things I'm allergic to is pine pollen. Although it's not bothering me, maybe that's not pollen, that's just that evergreen aroma. But what it's just the whole environment of being out here, and that you miss when you're in a car, the smell of the pines, the light breeze blowing. It's not too hot out. I think it's probably, what, it says 88 degrees, so it's probably about 80. It's just, what a beautiful moment to be out here and just to be enveloped in this. It's like having I guess one of those pine-scented air fresheners in your car as you roll along the river. I don't know how to explain it. So out in there's the road that I just came around on. This is Harper's Bend. It's a very nice area here. Just a little pull off. Yeah, ride's going pretty well this morning. The only complaint I've got is the traffic. It's just not horrible, it's just steady. Cars whizzing by you, narrow shoulder here for probably the last 20 miles or so. But wow, the scenery is just unbelievable. I think I'm so enamored with the changing scenery as we move further and further up the road or up the river here, that it kind of mitigates the fact that you got cars screaming by you a few inches away all the time. People are pretty good though. They try to get over, and there is some shoulder there, so I shouldn't complain about that. But yeah, bike's doing well. Actually the hub has been, I mean, it's still making the noise, but it's not as bad. So I'm having more confidence that it's going to make it all the way to Missoula, and I'm having confidence, I'm trusting in the Lord that it's going to get fixed when we get there, that we'll finally figure out what the problem is and get it straightened out. So anyway, on up the road, because my friend Paul, my future traveling companion here for a few days, is they're going to be waiting for me there. They're probably there now. I've ridden about 15 miles since I talked to them, and that's about how far they had to go to get to the campsite. So I want to keep moving along towards that rendezvous point. So this is the community of Orofino, Idaho. It's kind of a spread out place. And I stopped here and took a little break. Called the RV park that Paul is staying at tonight, and got found that there's all kinds of room down there. And I don't know if that guy's beeping at me for encouragement. I'm going to assume encouragement because I can't get any further over to the right than I am. So I'm going to say that was encouragement. Afternoon. And I'm going to go back over in the bike lane here. It's nice of them to set this up for me today. Put these little orange, started with barrels, and now we got these little pylons. They put these out here just for me to get through the sprawling metropolis of Orofino, and I am very appreciative of that. And then they sent that car out to encourage me on my journey. So I've lost the shoulder pretty much completely now. It wasn't much better the last 10 miles or so with little speed bumpy things down in there. And you had about a foot to work with inside of those. And there was, like, you can see where there's rocks and stuff rolling off the edge of these hills. It was full of like little, well, rocks bigger than you can hit with a bicycle tire and not do some damage. And now there's no shoulder, and this is getting curvier, and I don't think the speed limit's been reduced any, so it's probably going to be fun here for the rest of the way. So one of the things that I've noticed out west here is there are a lot more signs showing distances to places. Like, we're going to Kooskia, and it's pronounced Kooskia, 22 miles. Missoula's 170. I don't know, back in Wisconsin, those signs are becoming obsolete. I mean, do we really need them anymore? They're almost like the phone booth. Which, interesting enough, and I forgot to film this, but in Washington, I saw phone booths all over the place. No phone in them. I'm just musing as to whether they're going to go the way of the phone booth. And that got me thinking about all the phone booths that I saw in Washington State with no phones in them. They still had, I wish I'd have taken some photos of this, but they still had the things that hold the phone book in hanging from them empty. And the booths are still there, sitting up on their posts. They've never been taken down. I just found that to be kind of odd. So everything's getting narrower here. And I've had to resort to just pulling out into the middle of the lane here, going around these curves. And then what I do is, when a car approaches, is I just slowly start to move over to the right, coming from behind me, because then that forces them to slow down and makes it safer when they go around you, because they nearly dust you off if you're on the edge there. Yeah, so here I am at one of my little 10-mile breaks here along the Clearwater River. Found a little spot here where the traffic can whiz by me a little bit more safely. And I am now about 12 miles from Kooskia. Everybody calls it Kooskia because they put an A on the end, which is what it should be called. The locals out here have corrected me on that. It's actually Kooskia. So I'm about 12 miles from Kooskia. I'm at mile marker 63, so that's 63 miles from Lewiston, so 75. It's 4:45 in the afternoon, and I left about, I think it was around 10 this morning, 10:30. And yeah, I think I'm making pretty good time today. This has been a relatively, I mean, it's uphill. I've gained a little bit of elevation, about 700 feet, but it's basically just been flat along the river here. And you can see the river, which is still the Clearwater River, which is still quite wide here, is not flowing very rapidly. Every once in a while, you'll see some places where it kind of narrows together and it gets moving pretty good. There'll be some little rapids and ripples in it, but this has been one of the more, with the exception of the traffic, this has been one of the more scenic rides that I've taken out here. I'm going to have to really sit and think about, maybe when I go back and look at the film after I've finished the trip, and try to figure out what my favorite places have been. And right now, so far, wow, I think along the Pacific coast at Ruby Beach was, and unfortunately my camera was not working very well that day, and I don't have much video of that. That was certainly one of them. Going up both Paradise and Cayuse passes were with beautiful scenic turnouts, especially going up to Paradise, up to Stevens Canyon there, and going around Stevens Canyon. That was certainly one of the highlights of the trip. And then I think yesterday, coming up on top of, or day before yesterday, coming up on top of the Paua summit, it was just surreal being up there. It looked like, I think I mentioned this before, like somebody took 10,000 acres of Illinois and just dropped it, 10,000 acres of Illinois farmland, and just dropped it right on top of those hills. It was like it didn't belong there. And today, coming up from Lewiston, I started out in an industrial park, and I mean, look where I am now. It's I don't know any other way to describe it. It's God's handiwork. His tapestry, his painting, sculpture, however you want to interpret the way he spoke this into existence. It's just mind-boggling. And I think you have to be right in amongst it to really capture the essence of it, the essence of creation. But at any rate, I'm going to have a snack here and get on down the road, finish out these last 12 miles down to Kooskia, meet up with Paul and Paula. I finally remember her name when he told me. They are there getting a campsite set up for us. I talked to him just a little bit ago, and he's getting a site next to them. So we're going to then meet up and go have some dinner tonight. So we'll get on down the trail and talk to you later. So here we are in Kamaya, Idaho. About 9 or 10 miles from where we're camping tonight. As the day wears on, welcome Kamaya, a great place to live, work, and play. Well, I just came to play. Ride my bike. Kamaya. It's more of the downtown area of Kamaya. Sassy Squatch Ice Cream and Deli. Now normally I would stop, but I already have dinner plans for tonight. So I'm getting pretty close to Kooskia here, rolling back along the river. A couple of miles out, I'm gonna meet Paul and Paula at a cafe here in town, which I'm actually pretty excited about because I've been getting pretty lonely. And it's going to be nice to have company for a few days. For however long this turns out. I know Paul said he had some things going on at home that might change some of his plans, but we were going to talk about that when we got down here. But at least to Missoula, I'll have them, and I'm actually quite hopeful. Missoula's kind of a crossroads of a couple of the big trails across the country. The Lewis and Clark and the Transamerica actually split there. When we get down here to Kooskia, The Transamerica actually joins the Lewis and Clark, which I am on now. I think I'm on section 8 of it. And and Missoula is the home of adventure cycling, who put these routes together. So a lot of bike tourists just kind of migrate through there on these cross-country routes. I believe also the Great Divide route goes up through that way as well. And so there may be some opportunities to meet some other people that are out traveling the country this summer, which would be great. And then also to maybe find someone that's kind of going more my direction down the Transamerica Trail down through Colorado. So we'll see what happens. So we are coming into Kooskia. Terry, into Kooskia. And I've called Paul and Paula, and they're going to meet me at a cafe down here. Looks like I'm going to get there ahead of time. That's fine. I just have to find it. The Kooskia Cafe. Carissa's Cake Company. Kooskia Cafe, there it is. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. My 3 favorite meals. They don't look like oh yeah, they're open. Okay. Yeah. All right, so we are here.